This was the week where we finally know why Trump's been obsessed with toilets and water pressure. No, not because he can't get to the toilet before he just goes doo-doo in his Depends, and not because the Filet-O-Fish kind of backs you up, but because toilets can never seem to handle the amount of incriminating documents you want to flush. Drug dealers, of course, can relate. This week, we learned that thanks to yet another Trump administration book, this time by Maggie Haberman of the New York Times, we know that the White House plumber, had to make several visits because Trump regularly used the toilet to destroy documents. Just try to flush them. Like, that's the worst way. I'm sorry. Like, toilets can't even handle like a super tampon. You know what I mean?
And I think when Trump got to the White House, he actually removed the low flow toilets, right? Because they were
Right.
so racist, they didn't want to use the Obama toilets. Remember
Oh
this?
my God.
They
I
were,
had
they were
I had
so
blotted that out.
they were so racist that they were like, remember the separate water fountains, separate toilets. Now they brought this white supremacy back in fashion with toilets, and this whole Trump family is obsessed with toilets. Remember, Ivanka and Jared wouldn't let the lowly workers use the toilet inside
Yes.
the Secret Service. Like they could, so they had to rack up a bunch of bills. And then Trump, didn't he have a gold toilet for a while when he lived in New York before he fled
Yes, he
as
did.
an asylee to Mar-a-Lago? And I think he said a long time ago when he was dating that he hated the idea that the women he was dating would take a shit, and he was very against women having any kind of bodily functions.
Right.
He's
Women
obsessed
don't
with
poo.
toilets. Yeah,
He's
he's
he's a
obsessed.
Yeah, he's got a little thing. I'm surprised that Jared and Ivanka and the Trumps didn't just like lay down the documents they wanted to destroy for the Secret Service to poop on, like as if they were like, pets. Just like, here you go. A perfect place. Like you could almost see that happening. But okay, so the details of this, there are few. And Maggie Haberman, remember Maggie Habes and Donnie Trump, they're kind of homies.
Yeah.
She's like his centrist buddy bud. She's given him a pass on a lot of things, and she does not claim that this is criminal.
Right.
But she's still using this to sell her book, this sort of very salacious new detail. So while President Trump was in office, staff in the White House residence periodically discovered wads of printed paper clogging a toilet and believed the president had flushed pieces of paper. And this is from Haberman's new book, Confidence Man. The worst title of anything.
It should be called
Ever.
Constipated Man, I think. Because it's, I mean, we've talked about this before, Francesca. I think if you had a bidet in the White House, this would, the people would know. People would have been smart earlier. They're like, you don't need to be, on the toilet that much. Something else is going on. So they would know it's not a cleanliness thing. It's something else. But how did they not know this for so long?
I
And
know. And like, how do we have to wait and buy her book to see? It's just like, I think we should have known this. And granted, this is in a month where a lot of other sort of what did or didn't he do with documents during his time in the White House and after, that has all been coming to light because of the January 6th committee that is subpoenaing those documents. And then this was from earlier in February. The headline of this Washington Post article is that the National Archives had to retrieve Trump White House records from Mar-a-Lago. Last month, the National Archives and Records Administration retrieved 15 boxes of documents and other items from former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence because the material should have been turned over to the agency when he left the White House. Now, the advisors are like, nah, it wasn't even that crazy. They deny any nefarious intent and said the boxes contain mementos, gifts, some silverware in China that he liked, some state secrets, the nuclear codes. I'm making that up. Letters from world leaders and other correspondence. The items included correspondence with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, which Trump once described as, quote, love letters. As well as a letter left for Trump by President Barack Obama, according to two people familiar with the contents. this is generally so the National Archives, which I am like who I just imagine like someone with like way too tight of like little khaki pants, maybe Hank from Banana Republic I was talking about earlier. Like who are like, "Hello, we are here from the National Archives." Bo, 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 bo. Like, Trump's like, "You're a nerd. Get away from me." But like I didn't even know there was a National Archives that like came and did stuff and like grabbed stuff. But lo and behold, I learned because Trump helps us learn about government because he tries to destroy. Um, so the archive said they had struggled to cope with a president who flouted document retention requirements and frequently ripped up official documents, leaving hundreds of pages taped back together, or some that arrived at the archives still in pieces. Some damaged documents were among those turned over to the House Select Committee investigating the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. Yeah. I
You
mean,
know,
the idea that this president would be good with keeping records or had any thought that by he was a public servant at all or that we paid his salary. I mean, no, that shit is lost on him.
remember he doesn't want his briefings to be in words. Like it was just like all on like construction paper with like a smiley and a check mark and stuff. I want to see that in the National Archives. Like how he
Yes.
had like puffy stickers and scratch and sniff gasoline because gas prices are like I want to see how they presented information to him so he could understand it.
Totally. And remember how we learned the detail that he would only read a brief if it said his name? Like the more it said his name, the better. So yeah, just imagining like the annual transportation Trump shows that emission levels are Trump, like I
Maybe
want
it had to be like an anagram, like it had Trump down the left hand side, and
yes.
each one was like taxes,
Yeah.
Republicans, underwriting,
Eh,
what was the M for? M for um,
I don't know. Like marriage equality, that's what's coming to mind, but
oh yeah,
that he was trying to destroy that. We have to
petroleum
just
for
go to
food.
quickly to his response. Now, I don't always read Trump responses because they're sad and pathetic, but this one was particularly fun. Trump denying that he did anything to destroy records or did not cooperate with the National Archives Record Administration. This is his statement on February 10th. Following collaborative and respectful discussions, the National Archives and Records Administration openly and willingly arranged with President Trump for the transport of boxes that contain letters, records, newspapers, and various articles. Some of this information will someday be displayed in the Donald J. Trump Presidential Library for the public to view my administration's incredible accomplishments for the American people. Daya, this is what you were saying. Like, it's gonna be the like Hurricane Maria path and him drawing an extra little loop. It's gonna be him the sort of cross out when it said COVID-19 and him writing Wuhan flu in like Sharpie. Just that library, man. I mean, it's mostly like empty pages.
I think it would be all choose your own adventure books with all of the ending being that Trump wins the election and then Mike Pence is the bad guy.
It's Mike Pence actually hanging, but it's not real. It's, just a very nice wax sculpture. Okay, so he says, it's another fake story that I flushed papers and documents down a White House toilet. It's categorically untrue and simply made up by a reporter in order to get publicity for a mostly fictitious book that I definitely sat for and was interviewed for. The Democrats are just using this and the unselect committee, sick burn, bro, of political hacks as a camouflage for how horribly our country is doing under the Biden administration. Ah, yes.
Why is country just randomly capitalized? Our country. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he got excited by that. But remember when like he like people in Mar-a-Lago were like, we don't think you should sit for any of these interviews.
Yeah.
And that he just can't help himself. And so it's his own fault. He just likes attention so much he doesn't know not to share information.
Remember when Bob Woodward just like sat around
Yeah.
and just didn't leave the Oval Office? And everyone was like, what's he doing here? He's like, oh, he's writing a book on us. Cool. That's not like going to be a liability or anything. No, it's great. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/bitchuation room. Do